gentlemen.
Opinions over statistics, of course. Gassed off journalistic. Come at me and all you'll get is the ballistic report.
Yo, welcome to the Ballistic Show. I'm your talented host, Ike Moore, and this is the show where we break down pop culture. And man, do you have a double-header tonight. Not only are you getting this podcast, but for all my wrestling fans, I got a new podcast that I'm dropping a little bit later on today, or it might be up right now depending on when this is uploaded. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the show, but we got a few things to talk about here in pop culture. First of all, everyone's asking me what I think about the new J.Cole record. I'm actually still listening to it, so I can't really give my opinion on it just yet. I normally give music about 2 listens before I give you guys a review on it. In fact, for this particular project, I might give it 3 listens because, you know, J. Cole is very lyrical, and you got, there's some double meaning to every one of his lyrics. As opposed to Cardi B, which is a very fun record, but let's be real, the lyrics are sort of self-explanatory. It doesn't take that long to dissect them. J. Cole, however, sometimes you need a thesaurus. The same thing with Kendrick Lamar. In fact, let me take that back. For Kendrick, you probably have to listen a good 5 times because there's just layers on layers on layers, but you get my point. For those of you who follow me on social media, which should be every single one of you because my posts are hilarious, once I'm done listening, I will give you guys my review via my Facebook and Instagram pages. Instagram at Ballistic Ike Moore, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Ballistic Ike. Shameless plug there, but what are you going to do? But it's been a wild week in music when you think about it. Beyonce slayed Coachella, which they renamed Baychella. And, you know, she brought out Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child, or as I like to call them, Beyonce and Friends. I mean, it was nice of her to give them a little bit more stage time because the last time they reunited, I believe it was one of her Super Bowl performances. They did 2 songs and then she brushed them off the stage. It was like she was saying, now, that's enough stage time for you. Go play with your Tinker Toys. They've come to see me. So you had that happen, and then you also have, like we just talked about, J. Cole released his project. And then we have probably the biggest news of them all. The announcement of the return of Yeezus. Oh, I can just see the white doves flying through the sky. So ever since the end of 2016, we've all speculated when Kanye was going to make his return. Obviously, he had a few mental problems he had to work out. He had to take a break from the spotlight, as all great artists do. But he went on his Twitter and dropped a few bombs of projects he's working on, including his own album, which will contain 7 songs and be released on June 1st. That's not all. He also announced a joint album with him and Kid Cudi to be released the following week. They even have a group name. They call themselves Kids See Ghosts. But wait, there's more. He also revealed the release date of Tiana Taylor's new album for June 22nd. And before any of this kicks off, Pusha T has an album coming out May 25th. Kanye's taking a page out of Marvel Studios' book, releasing all of these release dates and planning all these projects out. Obviously, Pusha T's album's going to be good. I'm pretty sure Kanye's album's going to be legendary. I know people were like, why it's only 7 songs? I think this is a case of quality over quantity. You'd rather have 7 excellent songs as opposed to a 22-track album with probably 3 or 4 tracks meant for filler. So I guarantee you that even though it's only 7 tracks, these are probably the greatest 7 tracks you will ever hear in your life. Better than those tracks in your girlfriend's hair. That's how great those tracks are going to be. As far as the joint album with Kid Cudi, I think I'd prefer a Watch the Throne 2. I'd rather Kanye and Jay-Z make another album together. But hey, Kid Cudi is a great artist in his own right, so I'm sure that's going to be fun. And surprisingly, I haven't heard any Tiana Taylor music. I know she has a reality show with her husband on VH1 that I have yet to see. But I've seen her in interviews. She seems cool, so I wouldn't mind giving her project a listen. I know one thing, that girl has abs on abs on abs. You could play the xylophone on her stomach. That's how hard those abs look. That's probably on her album. One track, she just uses her abs as a xylophone, and that's the backing track to one of her songs. You heard it here first, folks. Xylophone abs are the way of the future. But yeah, I told you guys, when Kanye comes back, he's going to kill the game. I'll never forget the last time he took a hiatus like this. It was a little bit shorter, but it was in between, I believe, the 808s and Heartbreak album And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album, that's when that whole Taylor Swift thing happened. He took a little bit of a break. And I was telling people, when he comes back, he's just going to kill the game. And that's when My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy dropped. And that's probably my favorite rap album of all time. So if he can make a masterpiece like that during his time off, there's no telling what he could do with 2 years off. Let's segue into the movie side of things. And guys, I'm trying to get myself emotionally ready for Avengers Infinity War next week. I don't think you guys understand. Based on the results of what could possibly happen by the end of this movie, I could find myself in seclusion for years and you probably will never hear from me again. But believe it or not, there is another superhero movie that I cannot wait for, and that is Deadpool 2. The final trailer dropped yesterday, and it is absolutely bonkers. I can already tell the action's a lot better this time around. It's a lot bigger. You can tell they probably gave them more money for the budget. They just said go nuts with this one. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more fourth wall breaking. We already saw in one trailer a Goonies reference, a MCU reference to Thanos, and a DC joke, which I'm sure is going to make a lot of people stiffen up. A lot of you fans of the DC cinematic universe, you're going to be all pissed, but I'm just saying loosen up because we're all comic book fans here. We're just having a little bit fun. I don't want to see you on the message boards talking trash to Deadpool because he made fun of your little Man of Steel and your Suicide Squad and your Batman vs. Superman. And just for the record, I have no ill will towards those movies at all. They're okay. I'm just saying, let's have a little fun with the man in the red suit for a while, shall we? I'll never forget when that first Deadpool came out, man. I probably saw that movie about 10 to 11 times. I just kept watching it. You know how on YouTube they do those 24-hour streams of just like random stuff like water falling or episodes of cartoons or something like that? If somebody makes a 24-hour loop of the Deadpool movie, I'm going to watch that all day. Forget all my other responsibilities. That's what I'm doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just watching that stream. So May 18th can't come soon enough, and I can't wait for it. All right, before I get out of here, I told you guys I got a new podcast dropping later today, or it's probably already up depending on when I upload this podcast. It's called Shooting from the Hip. It's an all-wrestling podcast. It's featuring me, Naptown Eddie, and Stephanie from the Rising Feminist Wrestling Show on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's going to be all wrestling talk. We're talking WWE, NXT, Impact stuff going on in the wrestling world. We're just going to be honest with it. There might be a little bit of cursing. It might be a little bit of whooping ass, drinking beer, and that's all I got to say about that. So make sure you tune in, and we'll probably do it every week. We'll see how it goes. Until then, all my social media outlets include on Twitter at Ike Ballistic, on Instagram Ballistic Ike Moore, and Facebook, facebook.com/Ballistic Ike. Until next week, I've been your talented host Ike Moore, reminding you, have a xylophone ab stomach. Wait, no, that's not what I say. Reminding you, it's okay to be ballistic as long as it's done responsibly. I'm out!